Well, if you just joined us, folks, welcome, and I hope you have a great day here in the main arena at Crufts 2014. We certainly enjoy seeing you. Lots of excitement happening here all day long. We've got top-class agility. It's not just demonstrations. Top-class agility, real serious competition. We've got the Metropolitan Police coming up shortly, and Flyball, that's with us next, or next after we've seen the next item in the ring programme, because we've got a marvellous display by the Rescue Dog Agility crew. So they're going to be in now with, you see all the agility equipment. And I've got two young ladies here who are going to tell us all about it. It's Natalie Ingram and Helen Stone. So it's Rescue Dog Agility, folks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Right, we're going to get going. We've got a new rescue playing today. We've got Many Tears Rescue here, so let's give them a big round of applause for joining us this year. Okay, now first up we've got Widget, who was rescued by Sylvia of Many Tears at 3 months of age. Widget had a few behavioural issues, but Sylvia worked through them, and she went on to foster with Sylvia's daughter Leah, and Christine adopted him at about 5 months of age. Christine says that Widget is a lovely boy and a delight to have in the house, even though he does appear to be hungry and want to eat all of the time. He loves his agility, as you can see, and he's flown through the course. So next up we have got Theory, who was rescued in Ireland with his litter as tiny pups, which were all unwanted. Sylvia and Many Tears rescued them and asked Leah to foster them until they were old enough to be rehomed. Unfortunately, Theory stole Leah's heart, so ended up staying with her. Leah says he is an amazing dog, so happy and funny, and really starting to show his great potential in agility. And he's won over 15 classes last year. So let's give them a massive round of applause. Well done, guys, and thank you for joining us this year. Okay, next up, I'm going to hand you over to Helen with the Mighty Canines.
Next up, we've got Dino, who's from Battersea Dogs Home. He's run by Katie Thomas. Dino arrived at Battersea Dogs and Cats Home as a stray. When Katie and Daniel initially took him, he was very excitable. However, as time has gone by, he's really settled down, and it's become clear that Dino is a very intelligent dog. He loves learning new things, which is why they took up agility with him, and as you can see, he enjoys it immensely. Getting a clear round there with Katie, doing really well. Next up, we've got Jessie, who's running with Sue from the National Animal Welfare Trust. Jessie was found near the A30 on a half-term weekend, and as a result, she's got a fear of vehicles, especially vans, but that's not held her back when it comes to agility. She's been competing for 7 years, and Sue hopes they're going to get to grade 4 this year. Sue says she'll never be a Crufts champion, but she'll always be hers. Well done, Jessie. Next up, we've got Buttons with Trudy from Valgraves Rescue. Buttons, or Bright as a Button of Valgraves, was left as part of an unwanted litter, but with the help of Valgraves, they all found new homes. Button's now 18 months old. She's very shy and nervous, but comes out of her shell in agility. She's taking a little hide in the tunnel there. As we said, new situations can worry her, but agility has really helped her to come out of her shell. It's a strange situation to be in. If everyone could give her a big round of applause, that's great. And even after everything she's been through, she's come through that as a star. Well done, Buttons. Now we've got Lulu with Anne from the Blue Cross. Lulu was only 20 weeks when she left the Blue Cross and lived with Anne, and she previously had been with a young family that was just a bit too hectic for her personality. Anne's taught Lulu to run ahead as she's got really good control, and as you can see, really hard to keep up with. Well done, Lulu.
Okay, now next up we've got the Wacky Woofers. So let's give them a big round of applause to encourage them on. Okay, first up, we're going to have Blue, who's from the Blue Cross. Sandra has now had Blue since September 2005. He came in as a stray at the Blue Cross in Southampton. Sandra fell in love with him. It was love at first sight. Sandra says he's a great dog and has a mind of his own, which he might be about to prove to us now. Yep. Apparently he loves agility, and when he's on one of his good days, he's brilliant, but if he's having a bad day, he decides which way he wants to go round. Sandra says, who wants to be perfect anyway? It doesn't matter. So let's give him a big round of applause and help encourage him on. He's doing really well now that he's getting into it, flying over those jumps. Well done. Let's see over the last jump and through the tunnel. Well done, Blue. Okay, now we've got Button, who came into Wood Green at just 10 weeks of age. She loves agility, but hasn't yet started competing. She also enjoys trick training, and her favourite things to do are chasing her tennis ball and playing with her canine friends. Her best friend at home is a cat called Mittens, and apparently they get up to all sorts of mischief together. So let's give Button a big round of applause. She's doing really well. And through she goes on that final tunnel. Okay, now this is Dita. Dita came into Dog's life in September 2012. He was a lovely little boy with big fluffy ears, but no one had any idea he would grow into them and get quite so big. He's got a big team cheering him on behind him. Luckily, Valgray's Collie Rescue saved him, and for a few months old, he ended up at the dog wardens. He's like a sponge, soaking up everything he learns, and clearly he's learned a lot through his agility. Now we've got Molly. Sandra's had Molly for just over 3 years now. She came home just a week from her first birthday. She settled in straight into their family and made herself quite at home. She's an absolute joy to live with and makes her smile every day. Molly is a new best friend that loves agility. She's very keen and fast and takes everything in her stride. So let's give these guys a big, big round of applause. They've all done really, really well. And up come the Catch Me If You Cans.
So this is our Catch Me If You Can group, and they'll be started off by Sue Farrell, who's got Sam with her. Sam was rescued by the National Animal Welfare Trust and is now 6 years old. Sue says he's the world's worst food thief and investigates everyone's pockets, often with the pockets not surviving. Sammy competes most weekends and regularly achieves clear rounds, which I'm hoping we're going to see now. Come on, Sammy. There we go. And he lives with 6 other agility dogs, and Sue says they make a fantastic group together. Let's give him a big round of applause as he goes over those last jumps. Well done, Sam. Now we've got Lexie with Mark. Lexie was left at Wood Green before he came to live with many cats, an elderly lurcher and a crossbreed even bigger than she is. Lexie goes to training classes, and she has been since she was 10 months old. The best thing about Lexie is the way she indicates on a scent. She'll lie completely upside down, which is an unusual way of saying what's there. Lexie loves watching the telly, but she quite likes watching the news. That's her favourite channel. One more jump, Lexie, and through the tunnel. Let's give her a round of applause, everyone. Now we've got Molly with Lindsay from Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. Molly was left tied to a lamppost, and she's Lindsay's first dog. They started basic training and obedience, and that led them on to agility very quickly. She's a qualified pets as therapy dog and visits a children's hospice every week, but she loves chasing squirrels, rabbits, and everything else she can find. Now we've got Ozzy, the Border Collie, who's with Linda Lewis from Valgray's. He was just 4 months old when he was adopted, and he's been doing agility for about 2 years' time. He has an all or nothing attitude to agility, and it's either a clear round or disastrous, so he's showing us his best today. Let's give him a round of applause. Now we've got Coco with Carol. Coco is a long-haired German pointer, and there are only 200 of these in the UK, so he's a very special dog indeed. He came from the Blue Cross and was very hungry and thirsty all the time as he'd been left in a shed for a number of years. Carol says he's now got over that and eats just when he needs to rather than everything he finds. He's doing really well at this course today, so let's give him a big round of applause as he goes around. That's it. Perfect.
Okay, so the jump's all going to be lowered now because we're making way for the smaller dogs. The flying Fidos are on their way in. Now, as you can see, we've got all sorts of dogs here today. Rescue attracts so many different breeds end up in rescue. So if you are looking for a new dog, do consider taking on a rescue dog. They come in all different shapes and sizes. And as you can see, they make wonderful family pets. And today we've got Many Tears, Battersea Dogs and Cats Home, Blue Cross, National Animal Welfare Trust, Wood Green and Val Grays here. Okay, let's get going with Basil the Terrier. So Basil is a terrier cross who was a slightly unplanned addition to Alison's family in May 2011. They already had 5 dogs, but it was love at first sight. Alison describes him as looking like a tiny scared meerkat. He was 2.5 years old and very frightened of everyone. But as you can see, he's doing so well here today. He's really come out of his shell and flying around all of those jumps, even though he's got really tiny legs. Let's give him a big round of applause. This is Lollipop. Lollipop was rescued at 7 months of age. She was quite timid and very hand-shy. She's a very clever little dog and took agility really quickly. She now lives with 11 other agility dogs. Lollipop and Sue train at Whirlwind Agility in West London, and they've already reached championship level. Let's give them a big round of applause. And they've qualified for Crufts. Sue says Lollipop is a pleasure to live with and only occasionally has her diva moments. Okay, now this is Buster, or officially known as Buster Gasket of Val Grays. Buster was sold as a red Mel Border Collie by a puppy farm. He was rehomed by Val Grays to Julian and is now competing in Grade 1 agility. He's already had a 2nd place and is expected to be in Grade 2 later this year. He's a very lively and can be extremely fast when he wants to be, but can still be distracted easily in the ring. So the fact that he's had pretty much clear round today is amazing. Let's give him a big round of applause. Now, this is Woody with Amy. He arrived at Battersea Dogs and Cats Home in 2007 after he had been roaming the streets as a stray. First and foremost, Woody is a much-loved family pet, and he's an absolute joy. He's lovable, friendly, outgoing, and has an adorable character, making everybody laugh. He's excelled in agility, obedience, and often appears in lots of TV adverts with Amy, so you might recognise him. Let's give Woody a round of applause. Well done. And last up today, we've got Spike, who came from Wood Green at 6 months of age. He found himself needing a home because he had destroyed his previous one, apparently. Helen was prepared for a bit of a handful, and he is lively, happy, playful little dog, and he's been doing agility for 4 years. He's now the eldest in his class, and he is blind in one eye and going a little bit deaf, but as you can see, that's not putting him off. He still really enjoys himself and is having a ball out there. So let's give Spike and Helen a big round of applause for completing their round. Well done, Spike. Just goes to prove it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still get round an agility course. Well done. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give all of our contestants a big round of applause. And thank you for taking part today. They're all going to come out and do a nice big lap of honour. So first up, we've got Many Tears, Rescue, and then we're going to have the others joining them too. Rescue dogs come in for all sorts of different reasons. Sometimes people just don't realise what owning a dog means. No matter why they've come into us, they all find loving homes. And with a little bit of patience and work and tender loving care, they all make great family pets and can be used to do all sorts of different activities. So let's give these guys a big round of applause. And if you are thinking about getting a dog, why not come and visit us at one of our stands? So we've got Many Tears. Let's give them a big round of applause. Their first year here. Battersea Dogs and Cats Home, the Blue Cross, National Animal Welfare Trust, Wood Green and Val Grays. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.